And we're back, and sitting here with my son Griffin, and we're talking about alcohol use disorder in the family. Really, today we're going to talk about really the last day Amanda was here with us, and it was a very grueling time. She had fallen down a flight of stairs at her seventh rehab facility, and they put her in UCLA Medical Center where she was there for 28 days. She had 12 operations, and eventually they did call it. She had low blood pressure and eventually toxic shock. She had a lot of issues. But I remember, that last day was very difficult. You know, I had visited her a couple times. A lot of people wondered why I didn't go as many times. I think we both, and Griffin never really saw her the last month because we'd been through this so much.
Yeah, I mean, she had been in and out of hospitals my whole life. You
Right.
know, I mean, it just seemed like it was just another time she'd be okay.
It did. It just seemed like she's in the hospital again,
Yeah,
But I knew this time was different. But
And I was in college. I mean, I was up hundreds of miles away.
well, you were 500 miles away. You never saw her again. You never saw her because
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any point in taking you out of college to go. I mean, she was basically in a coma.
And I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not the way you want to remember. her.
yeah. I mean, I have good memories, and I'm glad that I didn't experience any of that.
Right. And she was in a very bad state. I mean, just physically, you wouldn't have recognized her, even though, she was your mother. And I remember the last day, and then she did pass away. It was actually February 21st of 2020, and then I had to make some phone calls. And I remember you obviously were one of my first phone calls. And I remember I called you were in Santa Cruz. That was a tough conversation.
Yeah, I was living in the dorms at college, and I had only been there for, a month maybe. And so I went outside, and I took the call, and, he told me what happened. And I remember a friend of mine came up to me, he was like, "Hey, how you doing? Who are you talking to?" And so,
It's like my dad. Yeah, my mom just died, right?
well, I didn't really say anything,
No.
But I ended up going back to my room, and it hit me pretty hard, immediately. I cried
Yeah.
in my dorm for a while. It was tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
And it was tough having to just live life with that happening around me. Especially going to college for the first time.
Was it a little bit of relief going to college and just kind of getting out of that environment?
I think it was a lot of relief.
I know.
I mean, like we've said, she was a very kind person, but
It was stressful.
it was very stressful, it was very emotional, and it was just very, very, very liberating to get away from an alcoholic environment and just be far away from it and not interact with it so constantly.
Do you think it would have been better if she had been out of the picture earlier? Or do you think we did the right thing by, including her until you got kind of through your childhood? Or did you ever even think about that?
I think I'm glad that we all stayed together. I think she would have struggled a lot by herself. And I think that it would have hurt her a lot because she was a loving person and she loved us. She would not have ever wanted to see anything like that happen.
Well, I think it would have just killed her if she had to leave us.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have survived very long.
uh,
Yeah. So the real reason why we make this particular video is because this is the road that you're headed on, and this is how you affect your family. So if you are struggling with alcoholism, you have to realize it's not just you that you're affecting. You're affecting everybody in your circle, your siblings, your parents, your spouse, your kids, cousins, friends, anybody in your life, and just having awareness of that. I hope that helps, and I hope these videos have have helped that issue. What do you think about that?
yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it, and I hope everybody can. I messed it up.
That's okay, great. So basically, we're glad to help people, and that's what we're really here for. And I think it's the legacy of your mother.
Yeah, definitely.
This is really the legacy of your mother, is to help other people, and we hope that makes sense.
I'm really happy to see her story, go on to do good for people.
Thank you. And again, everybody, thanks for listening.